Everything's good, man. Everything's good.
That's a can-do, Norm.
You came charging out like
Yeah,
a...
because people, look at this audience, man. They don't care about that. Well, I like jokes.
The Swedes are with you.
They got flags. They got flags.
Yeah, they got flags and they're scoring you. You've got 3 9s and an 8 so far.
Wow.
For your
Where
entrance.
are you guys from, man? Oh, sweet. That's Sweden?
Yeah.
God bless you, man. Everything's good about, you know, you're an Irishman. Me mother, she was orange. Me father, he was green. It was the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. I'm Scottish. I'm a Scot. You're Irish.
Yes.
What are you?
Swedish-German.
Swedish-German. Are you really?
Yeah, really. Why would I lie about that? It's not funny.
It's very odd, 'cause...
It's a very strange lie. I put one over on those people. Yeah.
Swedish-German.
No, I'll tell you why it's funny, man, because I was in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I met a good old boy down there, and he said, he said, you know Andy Richter?
Yeah? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You met a guy in Georgia and he said, you know Andy Richter?
Oh, yeah, you guys do well there.
Oh.
And he said, I said, yeah. He said, have you ever heard an Andy Richter joke? I said, no. He said, well, most of it's based on him being Swedish-German. And then he told me an Andy Richter joke. And
Really?
But I didn't know he was Swedish-German. I thought it was all nonsense.
Yeah, well, now this lines up perfectly. Let me ask you something, because it sort of relates to the first...
Wait, don't you want to hear the joke?
No. Oh, you're down to 6. You're down to 6. All right, this joke will get you back up.
You can get him back.
Let's hear the joke.
Well, the fella says, he says, man, he says, you ever hear the time about the old prospector? That's how he tells you, know?
Yeah.
He says, man, there was an old prospector, and he was prospecting for gold, and he was having a hell of a time getting any gold. It was an empty stake, I believe. And he said he'd come into town one day. He'd been in the mine for a good 8 months. He said, by God, he said, I'm only flesh and blood. Sure. Yeah. And I need a woman, you know. And so he goes into town. He goes up to the bartender. He says, bartender, he says, man, I've been in that mine for a hell of a long time, and I'm only flesh and blood. I need a woman. Well, the bartender says, hell, there ain't no women in this town. If you want to do any of that business, all we got is Andy Richter, the Swedish-German. The prospector, he says, no, he says, hell, I ain't into that funny stuff, you know. He says, I'll be fine. So he goes back to his state, you know, and he's back in that mine, man, and 6 months passes, and a year passes, and Conan, you know, people are weak. Man is made of flesh and pride, as the scriptures tell us, and by God, that old prospector finally broke to his knees, and he said, I'm no worse than... Then he went back to the bar. He was a beaten man. He says to the bartender, he says, hell, man, I've been in that place 2.5 years. A man has needs, and if you say there's no women in this here town, he says, well, I'll have to go for Andy Richter, the Swedish-German. But he says, listen now, he says, man, I'm a tough old hombre, you know, and I got friends now. He says, I don't want anybody to know about this. You know, this is back in the old days.
Sure, yeah.
He says,
I can tell by the accent, yeah.
He says, I got my cowpoke friends and so forth. I'd hate to hell anybody know about this, you know. This got to be all secret. Nobody. I say, nobody can know about this. Bartender says, well, 4 people will know about it. How do you figure that? He says, well, he says, I'll know about it. He says, you'll know about it. Andy Richter, the Swedish-German, will know about it. And the fella that has to hold down Andy will know about it.
Why?
Why? Because Andy Richter, the Swedish-German, he don't go for that funny business neither.
Well, at least you left me my dignity.
Yeah.
I like the way that story ended.
Yeah,
That was a nice...
You weren't gay.
Right. Well, but that's not beside the point.
You were raped.
No, it's more... It's more that I wasn't prostituting myself. That's what I was getting.
You're such a horrible man.
No,
We're on kind of cable, but it's still valuable airtime.
Well, no, I
don't know about that.
You know, in Georgia, they say there's a whole subgenre of Andy, the Swedish-German joke. That's what the guy told me.
Well, you know what? I asked you, how are you?
Yeah?
And you went into, I believe, a 48-minute joke.
Oh,
which
I'm sorry.
was fantastic, but now we have to take a commercial break.
Are you kidding me?
What do you... Yes! I'm about to grow my beard back if I don't... I'm going to say, and this is just based on the... You know, this relates a little bit to the last segment.
Yeah.
I love having you on the show, but every time you're on the show, I get one comment afterwards from people on the street, people out in the world. They say, I loved Norm last night. Was he drunk? They always ask me that. Now, I explained to them that, no, you are not a drinking man, which you are not. But do you have any vices at all? Any vices?
Yeah, well, no, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. But lately, you know, I've been spicing up the sex life.
By just saying it 3 times? That's how you... That's your method of spicing it up?
My method is, I decided to spice things up. I got into, do you know what S&M is?
Yes, I know what S&M is. Yeah.
It's the sadomasochistic lifestyle.
Okay.
And so I said, I'll give it a whirl, you know. So,
Really? I'll give it a whirl?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'll tell you something about this lifestyle. First of all, the thing they don't tell you is if you're a beginner, you have to be the masochist.
Really? You have to be the one that's getting the punishment.
Yes, clearly you want to be the sadist.
Yeah.
So, so that's a jip. So I'm with my lady friends, and I'm still trying to understand, but my lady friend, sweet, sweet girl, and she is the sadist.
Uh-huh.
And you have to have a safe word. This is very, very important.
I've heard about this,
yes,
yeah.
It's like when you say this word, you know, it's a safe word.
That means the person knows that you're not kidding around. Stop doing whatever you're doing.
It's a safe word.
Yeah.
And so anyways, she's putting me through all sorts of, you know, sexual torture and so forth.
And what have you.
Yeah. Then I say my safe word.
Uh-huh. What is it?
It's boring. That's a good one.
Stupid.
I don't like that. I am going to return to my former sexual lifestyle.
Well, yeah, what's that?
It's trying to find a lady and convincing her to let me lie down on top of her.
That sounds so romantic, the way you describe it. I want to lie down on top of you and take a nap? What do you... Doesn't sound
well,
like...
I'm just saying I'm very simple. I don't need no, I don't need no where they whip your balls or anything.
Okay.
I'm just an old chunk of coal that likes to, you know.
Old chunk of coal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Likes S&M, apparently.
No, that's what I was just trying to. I'm getting back to just lying on top of a lady.
Okay, all right.
Which even that proves extraordinarily hard.
Okay. Norm, you've got this new show, sports show with Norm MacDonald.
I've taken so many Viagra now. I'll tell you this.
What's that, Norm?
My doctor told me I'm on the same dose that they give to the donkey for the second show in Tijuana.
Okay, now listen.
For the second show, you know?
Why do I continue to have you on? And yet I love it.
No, the second show.
The sports show.
Oh, yeah,
People love this program. It's on Comedy Central.
Comedy Central, yeah.
And so now you are a sports fan for a long time. You love sports, and I'm just curious, what's going on in the world of sports right now that we should know? What's in the news, you sportster?
I don't know. There's something about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Not really a sports story, but...
Oh, yeah, no, he wasn't Mr. Universe. People, it's funny, right? Yeah. People say, hey, how do you become the governor of California? He was Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
And we're surprised.
Yeah, that's a bigger title, yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
God. I'll tell you one thing, man. I was watching the Mr. Universe contest there last year. Mm-hmm. And then, a couple of weeks later, they had Mr. World on. I said, I think I'm going to vote for that guy who won Mr. Universe.
Because he encompasses so much more than Mr. World.
Yeah. But what were you asking again?
Forget it. What's going on in the world of sports?
Sports.
I just heard someone got a big award today.
Oh, Dennis Rodman?
Yeah.
Yes, Dennis Rodman. Here's an interesting thing.
Dennis Rodman.
Here's an interesting thing. Do you ever notice this?
Yeah.
Penny Youngman
Yeah.
is an old man.
Yeah.
But Gary Oldman is a young man.
Look at that. You're back. You're almost at a perfect score for that one.
No,
They just cheapened the Olympics so much.
no, that wasn't like a great joke, but it was just.
No, don't sell it too short.
It's like it was more a comment.
Well, you know, we're almost out of time, so if you were going to make some comment about Dennis Rodman,
No, Dennis-
we'll have to get to it next time.
Yeah.
Because we're out of time, aren't we, Jeff?
Hey!
What's that? Jeff's going, oh, now
Wait.
Jeff's come to life. He's like, stop it. You got to stop it. You got to make it stop.
What about Paul Newman is an old man?
You got another one?
What about Gary Mann as a guy who works over at Comedy Central?
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
You fascinate me. You fascinate me more than any other guest I've talked to.
You know who would be cool to see? You'd ever see The Hangover?
Yeah?
That was an awesome movie, man.
Yeah, well, there's a sequel. Hangover Part 2 coming out, and the director's coming up.
He is? I love that guy, Todd Phillips. I was at a party with him. I went to a party. Todd Phillips was at the party.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome.
Well, he's coming out in just a minute. If there's still time, but I'm going to get him out here.
Oh, awesome.
Sports Show with Norm MacDonald airs Tuesdays at 10:30 on Comedy Central. Norm MacDonald. We'll be right back.